Good morning or good afternoon, second farmers. Today's topic is a topic that is very important for you to know about: coalition governments. What's a coalition government, you may ask? A coalition government is one that involves more than one political party joining forces to form the government, to run a country, or to administer the government. Same thing as run, administer. Maarten has a lot of experiences with coalition governments. In 1991, Maarten's first coalition government took place after the Island Council elections of April the 12th, 1991. After that election, there were 9 seats. At that time, we had an island council. We didn't have a parliament at that time. The island council consisted of 9 seats at that juncture, another word for time. And the parties of the day was the St. Maarten Patriotic Alliance, initials SPA, and the Democratic Party, and we also had the Progressive Democratic Party. The SPA, for the first time, received the most votes. And this was very important for you to know as students, because up until that time, between 1954 to 1991, the Democratic Party won all the elections. And it was headed by Dr. Claude Watty. He was the leader of the Democratic Party. So in 1991, the island was faced with no party winning the majority of seats. It was the SPA with 4 seats and the Democratic Party with 4 seats. That makes 8. And then there was a party, Progressive Democratic Party, known as the PDP. Now, the leader of the party at that time, of the PDP, was Millicent the Weaver. And so the first coalition was created when the PDP and the SPA decided to form St. Maarten's first coalition. And the leader of the SPA at that time was Vance James Jr. According to the book Know Your Political History, written by Julian and Edgar Lynch, 2 brothers, that coalition lasted for only 7 weeks, and then it broke down, collapsed, and the Democratic Party and the PDP formed St. Maarten's second coalition government. And this coalition government lasted from August the 29th, 1991 to 1994, June 15th. And then that coalition between the PDP and the Democratic Party also collapsed. And then the PDP party and the SPA decided to join forces a second time. This took place on June the 24th, 1994. So that means that was the third coalition government at St. Maarten at that period. And then there was elections for the Island Council on April the 7th. And that was a very interesting election for St. Maarten, because in that year we saw the SPA and the Democratic Party winning 5 seats each. Now, in that year, the Island Council seats were increased to 11 seats. And so we had the Democratic Party with 5 seats, the SPA with 5. And then there was one party that secured the last seat. A party founded by a man named Julian Rollax, a businessman. He was also a teacher at one time. And his party was called the Serious Alternative People's Party, called the SAP. That's the nickname, the initials, the SAP. And the whole country was waiting for Mr. Rolex to see what he was going to do. Would he join the SPA or would he join the Democratic Party? And so Rolex decided to join the Democratic Party in a coalition government, thus creating the fourth coalition government. Students, there is a lot more information about coalition governments in St. Martin's history from 1991 until now. Over the course of the next couple of weeks, you will learn some information about some of those coalition governments, because coalition governments has had an impact on St. Martin, and it's important for you to know as a future citizen, voter, to know these type of information about our history. Remember, the source of the information comes from a very important book, Know Your Political History. Now students, your assignment is going to be based on this video, and is also going to be based as usual on past videos, past questions and topics to help you review for the exam. I have already sent the outline, and the outline does not have anything about coalition government. That's going to come on third term exam. So you don't have to worry about coalition government on the exam in January. I'd like to also say at this time that we had class face to face, and I appreciate your cooperation. I never had to talk to many of you and tell you to put on the mask on your face. Everyone I met from second form face to face behaved beautifully. It was very good behavior and extremely great cooperation from you, and I deeply appreciate it. I pray that you will have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year when it comes, and I pray that you will be extremely careful this vacation, because in my opinion, for what I'm seeing, it looks like our numbers will continue to increase. By the time I recorded, the date I recorded this lecture, our numbers had increased on St. Martin to 131 cases. Students, be careful. COVID-19 is real. Take care. Thanks for listening. Thanks for cooperating. Be safe and be smart.